Good evening, Internet. Good evening. Eric Arnold, the Big E, coming to you from his sports barn. It's about 5 to midnight on Monday night, morphing into Tuesday morning. What do we got for you here in this video? Well, we're going to recap Sunday's disaster, and we're going to have a handful of picks for Tuesday. Want to say congratulations to Denny Hamlin coming through with the win and this afternoon into this evening's Daytona 500. Third win in 5 years. That's the first time that's been done since the King, Richard Petty. Good to see that Ryan Newman is going to survive. Quite the crash there at the end. Looked pretty bad for pretty much everybody there, especially Ryan Newman. But it does appear, according to what I read on the internet, so it must be true, that his injuries are non-life-threatening. So let's hope he makes a full recovery. That was my one race of NASCAR I watch every year. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I guess it's kind of like an NBA basketball game. You watch the last half hour, you pretty much get the gist of it. Okay, so what happened Sunday? Well, shitty picks, shitty day. We had Indiana for one start, Michigan, never in it, loser, 65 to 89. Manhattan, they were getting 7.5. They were right there with about 10 minutes to go. They were within a point, and then I guess Siena, I think Manhattan had like 50 points with 10 minutes to go, and they ended up with 52. So nice job, Manhattan. Get their ass kicked in the last 10 minutes, losing outright, losing the cover, losing it all. 65-52, another loss for the Big E. Tulane, never in it at Wichita. Thorough ass kicking, 82 to 57, another loss. Purdue Fort Wayne getting 11 points. We're up 10 at halftime. Then allowed South Dakota State to go on a 30-point run, and then put on some kind of miracle finish at the end to get a tie. So it was the best of worlds, the worst of worlds, and we get a tie. Quinnipiac getting 7.5 at Ryder, never in it. Sensing a theme here. 63 to 79. Finally, a winner or two. Missouri State, much the best at Indiana State, getting the win, 71 to 58. They were 3.5 point underdogs for some reason. San Diego State getting it done for us, showing that perhaps they are good. Covering the 5.5 relatively easy. I'm going to read that as more an indictment of Boise State than an endorsement of San Diego State. San Diego State 72-55, and then Utah never in it, much the worst against Oregon, losing 80 to 62. 2 wins, 5 losses, 1 tie. That sucks. We've been thinking about the way this has been going here recently. I told you we were probably out kicking our coverage when we were up around 57-58%, and I don't know, maybe that was a self-fulfilling prophecy or something, because we're now, down below 56%. Our total is 147 and 118. I think that's somewhere between 56 and 55%. I guess it depends how you get there, If I just reeled off 25 out of 30 to get there, I'd be dancing, I'd be playing whatever cover tune YouTube would allow me to play. I'd be rocking and rolling. But as it is, I feel kind of sad, that it's just not really been the best. Last 50 to 100 picks have basically sucked. So we're trying to figure out why that is. And I'm going to walk off camera here. I do have some kind of video editing software. I think it's called OpenShot or something like that. I semi know how to use it. I know this. It takes forever to use. especially as I'm learning to use it. So rather than edit out that part there where I blew my nose, you're just going to have to deal with it. So I apologize for that. We have the microphone back this time. So, you know, can you hear me now? 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12. Can you hear me? Okay, I hope so. I mean, the last video wasn't bad, but, you know, even if you tell yourself you're going to yell at the top of your lungs, there's still times when you just kind of drop out, and then you can't hear. So we're going to try to keep the microphones charged. Got to remember to do that, among everything else. But we're back to why our picks suck. I've been trying to think about this. I mean, as everybody's astutely figured out, the model, we keep picking road teams. And, you know, I looked this up. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. All I could think is it possible that we're getting late in the year and maybe everybody's just tired and, you know, these basketball teams just cannot stand the thought of another bus ride, another plane flight. And it's easier just to get up out of your dorm room, go to the arena, put your uniform on and play, than go through this entire drill when you're on the road. There's a whole drill when you're on the road. And maybe these road teams are just starting to wear down. Everybody's starting to wear down. And I could find no evidence to support that. I looked and couldn't find it. The other thing I'm thinking possibly is this could be around the time of year maybe where the good teams are just separating themselves from the bad teams. In other words, the season's almost over for a lot of these teams, especially in the mid-minors. And the good teams are now, the coaches going to the whip, if you will, and he's trying to get his team whipped into shape down the stretch so he can make his big push for whatever his base case scenario is. So I'm thinking that could be it. Another thing I tried to do here in my effort to improve myself, I actually drilled down to figure out what my record is per day of the week. I'm not sure if it's the nature of the games or the nature of my handicapping on those days, but during the week, better. Weekend, not very good. I mean, not terrible, but just not as good as during the week. So, I'm almost going to say that's the nature of my handicapping, that I'm just getting overwhelmed on the weekend and we're just like throwing down any old thing on the page. Oh, boom, hey, how about this? Boom. Here, well, that's only 50. I need 51. Boom. You know, maybe, I don't know, that could be it. I don't know. So we'll keep thinking about that. So we talked in a big circle there. What else do we have here? Saw some more, you know, every day it seems like there's more and more opinions coming out on the Astros scandal. It's hard to keep track of it all at this point. The Astros have been, well, I guess if you're going to execute a scandal like that to begin with, I wouldn't expect that these guys would be Jesus Christ himself now that they've been caught and come out and do the right thing. So they're doing all scummy things anyway, which is just what you would expect if you would execute a scummy scandal, a scummy scheme like that to begin with. And people around the league are not forgiving. The only person that's trying to keep a lid on this is, you know, Mr. Money, Rob Manfred. He's trying to, come on now, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's just a piece of metal, that trophy. Come on now. You know, can you think of anybody being more of a tone-deaf idiot than that? But, you know, it's baseball. I mean, when was the last time they had a good commissioner in baseball? So, I can only hope that it's going to be a beanball festival when the season starts. Suspensions, no suspensions. I really hope that the players take it into their own hands and punish these Astro players, because they have not been punished, contrary to whatever Rob Manfred thinks. These players have no shame. So for Rob Manfred to think that they're facing public ridicule and shame affects them somehow is ludicrous. They have no shame. So I would like to see some actual physical pain inflicted on these Astros. Short of that, they can allocute at any time, and I may forgive them, but not one of these motherfuckers has done that. And that's one word. One word. It's not 2 words, it's 1 word. Motherfuckers. And you're wondering why I'm making a big deal about that. Because I'm right on that, and I like to be right. So, now, let's be right about some picks here for Tuesday. For Christ's sakes, I'm tired of fucking losing. So, let's get some things right here. Okay. St. Francis in New York out of the Northeast, getting 7.5 at Long Island. I don't think we've played with or against these teams either all year. I didn't put St. Francis's record up there. We're sloppy already. It is 11-14. Long Island is 12-14. I mean, these teams look identical to me. So we're going to take the points, 7.5. How many we give Snow? We're going to actually take this for the full. We're looking hard to find one of these 3-star games. Maybe that'll shake us out of this lethargy, this poor rut we're in. But I still can't find any of these 3-star games. But at any rate, we're St. Francis. Let's see what happens. All right, here's an interesting one. Game might actually be on TV. Penn State having the best year they've ever had up there at Happy Valley. They're 20-5. Pomeroy says they're 11th team in the country. I think they're in the AP top 10 now. I'm not sure that's ever happened before. They are 6.5-point favorites against Illinois. Illinois, I believe, is riding a 4-game losing streak. They need to win. They need it bad. They're 16-9. Pomeroy ranking at 32. I've heard a saying on Wall Street, you never try to catch a falling knife. And that's these guys. These guys are a falling knife right now. They have injuries. One of their best players is hurt. I don't know if he's going to play or not. Let's just say he is. How effective is the guy going to be? I mean, he was, writhing in pain on the floor just a week and a half ago, holding his knee. Knees heal in a day or two, right? So, we're taking Penn State. We are taking Penn State. We are taking a home team. I know what I said just a few hours ago when the weekend was here that we think they're going to step on their dick soon, but we are going to give these guys, we have them all 1 star. I guess we just still don't trust them. We still don't trust them, but I don't know. I mean, I got the 1 star there, and I'm going to stick to it. But that one feels good. That one feels good. They're going to have a big crowd up there. Penn State is a good team. They have a good team. I mean, that team has some seniors on it that probably are NBA guys. And the reason they're not in the NBA is they've had injuries in the past and were never able to put a full season together. But now they're doing it. And, that team should handle Illinois. They really should. All 1 star. Let's see. The MAC. All right. Well, we got Akron. They're laying 8.5 on the road at Western Michigan. The model says road team here. And the way things are going lately, I just said that maybe the good teams are starting to go to the whip and are trying to separate themselves a little bit. So we're taking Akron. I mean, these guys, their season's just about over. I mean, Akron has a chance to win their conference and go to the big dance. But only if these guys are playing their best basketball when the chips are down in 2-3 weeks. So I would think their coach is going to really start to rev it up. Let's hope that happens. Let's go with Akron. Okay, here we go. Here's our friend of ours, Joey Gallo. Oh, Joey Gallo from New Jersey. I looked this up. Is this crazy or what? These guys, this is the first year they've been in D1, and they are leading the whole Northeast Conference. Furthermore, they're ineligible to participate in the Northeast tournament. I guess which means unless they're in a large bid, they're ineligible to go to the NCAA tournament. I'm sure there's some rationale to that. Whatever, I guess. I'm not sure how that's fair, but whatever. Well, here's the upshot of it is all these guys have to play for now at this point is just to win the damn conference. Just to hang a banner, we won the regular season conference, which is important to these teams, and then maybe get invited to one of these off the map type postseason tournaments, which happens. I mean, they're not, they're regular season Northeast champions. I could see some of these. What are the tournaments right below the NIT? Those they might get invited to that. So they're getting 2 points at Bryant. Bryant just played a completely shitty game against Central Connecticut State, screwing themselves and me. We're taking Joey Gallo here. We think he's got a reason to play hard. We think he's got the superior team. We think he's going to cover that too in a sparsely attended arena. Merrimack, we like them. Okay, what's next? Oh, here's another Northeast game. Northeast games left and right. You got Bobby Morris, 15-12. They're getting 4.5 at St. Francis of Pennsylvania. That's near Altoona. Bobby Morris is in Pittsburgh. 17-8 for St. Francis. This is, I guess you'd say this is a rivalry. We're not real confident about this one. We're going to take Bob Morris. Take it for all 1 star because St. Francis has owned these guys. They've won the last 6 or 8 games in a row. So it seems kind of stupid that we're taking Robert Morris. It seems like I just said, don't catch a falling knife. And I caught it. So maybe that's a good omen. But we're going to take Bob Morris. They're about the same team. So maybe they'll lose, 66-67, getting us to cover. All right, St. Louis, 4-point favorites at UMass. This is another one where we think we're just 2 teams going in different directions. St. Louis, 89 Pomeroy ranking, 18-7. This is a team that definitely has some postseason aspirations. We think we have a coaching advantage as well. This is going to be a sparsely attended game at UMass. St. Louis just played a nice game against LaSalle, beating them and me. UMass is just, they're not very good. We're going to take St. Louis. Okay, I've been trying to beat Missouri now for quite some time, and they keep sticking it to me. So I am going to try again, of course, by taking Ole Miss, getting a point at Missouri. Again, I think I have a coaching advantage. Other than that, the teams look pretty much identical. Ole Miss just played a really good game against Kentucky, almost beating them. I'm going to regret this one, I think, but we're going to take Ole Miss and hope they get it done. I'll probably get a freaking comment from Conzo Martin saying, why do you keep picking against me? I'm going to stick it up your ass. But let's try one more time, see what happens. Okay, Creighton had a nice win for us over the weekend. This team is red hot. They're 20-6. Marquette, they're a tough team. 17-7, 23-18, tough game. One of the best games on the schedule tomorrow. Both teams probably safely into the NCAA tournament. We're going to take Creighton. We just think they're hot. We think we got a slight coaching advantage as well with Creighton. What's his name? McDermott. The Marquette coaches at Duke, one of the Duke knockoff kids, Wojciechowski. We're never that excited about the Krzyzewski tree. So we will go with McDermott. We will go with Creighton. And finally, the number one team in the country, Baylor, 23-1. Pomerantz only thinks they're 5. Everybody else thinks they're the number one team in the country. They're 3.5-point favorites at Oklahoma, 16-9, 35. I just don't see this any other way, but we had Kansas earlier in the year at Oklahoma. Kansas was missing their best guard, Dotson, and they handled him in Norman. I mean, relatively easily, I think. And I don't see Baylor and Kansas more than that much apart. I mean, maybe, I don't know which one's better yet. I may have an opinion on that later, but they are very, very close. And Kansas, they won again easily tonight. That team just keeps rolling. Baylor is just as good as them, I think, if not, again, a dime's worth of difference. So we don't see any reason why Baylor isn't just going to walk in there and handle Oklahoma, just like Kansas did. I'm missing it. If they're not, I'm missing it. Right now, that could be, it could happen, but certainly we think Baylor is much the best at Oklahoma. And that Oklahoma team, they're not, I thought about this, they're not drawing hard sellouts. There's not going to be a hard sellout there of people out for blood. For Baylor? I mean, they didn't even have that against Kansas. Kansas is a team people turn out for. This is Baylor. So I'm not that afraid of the home arena there. I think Baylor I think they're going to get that one done. So, recap. All road teams save one. That's about par for our course. St. Francis plus the 7.5. Penn State at home minus the 6.5. Akron minus 8.5. Merrimack plus 2. Robert Morris plus 4.5. St. Louis minus 4. Ole Miss plus the 1. Creighton plus the 3. Baylor minus the 3.5. Okay, so, we're not exactly raining winners on you here right now, but let's see if we can get the momentum turned around here. Let's see if we can't get it going forward rather than just a cold, slow, losing spiral into the NCAA tournament. We'll do our best. Cross your fingers. Let's go. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you like. Tell somebody else if you like. All that good stuff. From me to you, good luck, good night, good gambling. Eric Arnold, out.